Hello, my name is Abe, and welcome to the Darkest Dungeon. The Crimson Court DLC has just been released, and I figure why not do a campaign to see the new content and also to just record it for you guys out on YouTube. So we're going to begin a new campaign here. You may enable multiple DLCs at once. Crimson Court, the districts, upgrade your Hamlet, interesting, and the Flagellant Hero class. All this I want enabled, because that's the new content. Darkest is the normal campaign mode, Radiant is just a quick game, and Blood Moon is super hard. I'm just gonna do a normal game mode here. And this is gonna be the Clancy Estate. And I'm gonna mute myself so that I'm not talking during the introductory cutscene.
Ruin has come to our family. You remember our venerable house? Opulent and imperial, gazing proudly from its stoic perch above the moor. I lived all my years in that ancient, rumor-shadowed manor, fattened by decadence and luxury. And yet I began to tire of conventional extravagance. Singular, unsettling tales suggested the mansion itself was a gateway to some fabulous and unnameable power. With relic and ritual, I bent every effort towards the excavation and recovery of those long-buried secrets, exhausting what remained of our family fortune on swarthy workmen and sturdy shovels. At last, in the salt-soaked crags beneath the lowest foundations, we unearthed that damnable portal of antediluvian evil. Our every step unsettled the ancient earth, but we were in a realm of death and madness. In the end, I alone fled laughing and wailing through those blackened arcades of antiquity, until consciousness failed me. You remember our venerable house, opulent and imperial. It is a festering abomination. I beg you, return home, claim your birthright, and deliver our family from the ravenous, clutching shadows of the Darkest Dungeon.
You will arrive along the old road. It winds with a troubling, serpent-like suggestion through the corrupted countryside, leading only, I fear, to ever more tenebrous places. There is a sickness in the ancient, pitted cobbles of the old road, and on its writhing path, you will face viciousness, violence, and perhaps other damnably transcendent terrors. So steel yourself, and remember there can be no bravery without madness. The old road will take you to hell, but in that gaping abyss, we will find our redemption.
All right, so as the story goes, our intrepid duo has made their way to the old road, trying to get to the Hamlet to see the caretaker, and let's see what trouble they've gotten themselves into, shall we? Map navigation. So Darkest Dungeon. I'll give a quick overview for anyone who hasn't seen this game. It is a kind of party versus party combat game. We have up to 4 party members on our side, up to 4 enemy party members on the right side here. We have a dungeon that we have to crawl through. We have attacks, we have abilities, we have loot, we have actives, we have all this good stuff that we can deal with. So right now we're just gonna move on to the next room. We're gonna explore this hallway between the two rooms. Yes.
The Hamlet is just ahead.
And we might get into some combat. And there's a dude here, a brigand cutthroat. Yes, kill the enemy.
That all may hear of your arrival.
So the kind of core concept about the fighting in Darkest Dungeon is that everything relies on position. So for example, Dismas, the highwayman, he has a dagger and a pistol. The dagger he can use, if you look here underneath the icon for the attacks here, he can use the dagger when he's in the first, second, or third slot. He can't use it in the fourth slot here in the back, and he can target only the first two people in the enemy position. Grape shot, he can only do that in the middle two slots on the party side, and he can fire at all three of the front enemies on the right side, the enemy side. His other two attacks, pistol shot, he can't do because there's no enemy in the second, third, or fourth position. Tracking shot, same thing. So open vein is the only thing we can do here. It has an accuracy of 95, it bleeds the enemy target for 2 damage per round for 3 rounds, and also applies a debuff to the enemy. So, we do our attack. We can see the stats of the enemy underneath him. Chances to hit, chances of us actually landing the bleed. He's bled us, now we're taking 1 point of damage for 2 turns. And we have our own abilities that we can use on our Crusader, who's kind of a frontline fighter here. Bulwark of Faith, torch plus 20, self, mark target, buff self, plus 25% protection, uses remaining. That's interesting. They've kind of reworked some of the abilities for some of the characters, and I will have to look up to see what's actually changed here, but I'm just gonna smite him. All right, he dodged. He's gonna live for 1 more turn, but hopefully Dismas, the highwayman, can finish him off. And there he goes. We killed him, so we get loot, 500 gold. We can take it and then move on. Now, our Crusader here, Reynold, he's gonna be bleeding for a couple of turns, so he took a couple of points of damage, but now he's good. This is a curio, this tent. We can inspect it. And we get valuables. Sometimes you'll get negative consequences for doing that, like you'll be like, oh, there's a dead body in there, I'm so stressed out. And stress is the other mechanic. So everyone has health and stress. HP on Reynold here is 25 of 33, and his stress is 3 of 200. When your stress meter gets to 100, you have a mental break, and you have a very high chance of being afflicted with a very bad status ailment on your character. It's gonna make him very, very bad at combat and stress out your remaining party. You don't want stress to be increased too high on your own party members. And there's ways of dealing with stress to bring it down, but with these 2 guys on the tutorial mission, there's not really anything that we can do. We've got food. I'm gonna use the food to heal Reynold. He's gonna have a little bit of a snack before we open the final door here and explore the last room of this tutorial zone here. There's a brigand fusilier and a brigand bloodletter. Now the bloodletter has this kind of whip thing here, this flagellation whip, and the fusilier has a gun. Now the fusilier can do a lot of damage in the back row. He's not very good at the front row, but I can't like move him around, I can't stun him really, so I'm just gonna have to either pistol shot the fusilier at the back, or just constantly hit this guy at the front and kill him eventually. What does tracking shot do? Buff self for damage, AC, and crit. I don't really feel like that's necessary, so I'm just gonna open vein the guy at the front, I think. You know what, no, let's try to pistol shot this Fusilier. 7 damage is pretty good. We might be able to kill him on the next shot. So the Fusilier can do a area of attack, and he hit both my guys. I dodged the point blank shot from this bloodletter here, which is good. And I have nothing else that I can do, so I'm just going to smite him for 9. The Fusilier has a high speed stat, so he actually has a good chance of going first on a bit of combat here. So the pistol shot from Dismas has a chance to do 4 to 8 damage, 75% chance to hit, 15% chance to crit. So if it rolls 5, 6, 7, or 8, he's dead. And it has to hit, of course, but it could have worked. It could have worked. Ooh, there's a crit. I judge thee guilty, and Reynold gets a little bit of a stress reduction because of that crit. But now their stress increases because of the attack from the bloodletter, the whips. My guys are getting debuffed. Their dodge is getting slightly reduced from the Fusilier. He has an attack blanket fire that not only does damage, but it also debuffs us, and we're their enemies, so it's kind of annoying. Pistol shot, land. He's dead.
Give them no quarter.
Corpses. Enemies killed leave a corpse, which prevent the enemy from shuffling around. So if I killed the Bloodlighter first, there'd just be this corpse in the front row, and the Fusilier would still be in the back, still be able to shoot off his gun really annoyingly. You would have to hack your way through the body in order to actually get to him. 7, he only has 1 HP left. Stop raising my stress. People's stress are already at 14. I mean, this has a 95% chance to hit, so I'm just gonna use this. Only need to do 1 point of damage. We get the Drifter's Buckle, which is a trinket. Gives a plus 10% trap disarm chance and a plus 4 dodge to a highwayman if he's carrying it. And what we can do is we can hold it. Yeah, we're gonna continue adventuring for a second here. We can hold it and then we can give this to the highwayman and he gets bonuses or penalties, accordingly. This has a plus 4 dodge, plus 10% trap disarm chance, and a minus 5% stress healed. So he doesn't heal as much stress when he gets stress healing, but he's better at combat and trap disarming. There's a chest here. Let's take a look. It was a bandit's trap chest, and it was trapped. So we're done. We've explored the entirety of the floor. It was the tutorial floor after all. So we're going to leave and click on the icon here to get back to the Hamlet. Quest gave us 5,000 gold. We picked up some gold during the quest, and we got 2 heirlooms. Heirlooms are used to upgrade the town. Gold is used to kind of purchase individual upgrades, like a new sword for Reynold, the Crusader, or a new skill for Dismas, the Highwayman, or something like that. They gained a little bit of XP, so they gain levels. Your party can randomly gain quirks, positive and negative quirks that give them like plus defense or minus defense or something of the sort. They gained nothing, so that's actually probably a good thing, because bad quirks can be really bad.
Welcome home, such as it is. This squalid hamlet, these corrupted lands, they are yours now, and you are bound to them.
They are yours now. So that's the caretaker. That's not the caretaker. That's the narrator. So we've done everything that we can do in that tutorial zone. We've got a few things that we can take a look at. The Ancestors' Memoirs, which gives us.
In time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings.
Is that Wayne June? I think does the narration. Great stuff. This just allows us to replay some of the things that we have seen. Graveyard. Any heroes that die go here.
Covered in the poisoned earth, awaiting merciful oblivion.
Yeah, you got that right. And the stagecoach where we can buy new heroes. That's going to be very important for us.
Women and men, soldiers and outlaws, fools and corpses. All will find their way to us now that the road is clear.
We have 2 heroes. Gufat, the Plague Doctor, and Vipont, the Vessel.
What better laboratory than the blood-soaked battlefield?
Talking about the Plague Doctor there. So we have a couple of new, we have a couple of new people here. The Vessel is basically a healer. They have a targeted heal and then a party heal that they can use. It's a very small heal, but over time it is pretty good. And the Plague Doctor is a character who is best suited at the back of a party. They have a lot of things like Blight, which is basically just poison, stuns, buffs that they can use. They can cure Blight. They function best at the back of the party, and eventually I would like to get Blinding Gas as a skill for the Plague Doctor, because it is a stun that works on the back 2 of the enemy line. If you can see it right there, Blinding Gas. It's a good skill. We can upgrade it later, but we just can't do it now just because this is the tutorial still. There's nothing else for us to do here. We have to complete more quests to unlock more buildings that we can access. Looks like districts we'll get to later. I don't know what that is because I've never played this DLC before. So we'll embark on the next quest.
A mecca of madness and morbidity. Your work begins.
So the courtyard up here, it doesn't have like an icon or anything, but this is the DLC zone, and we will unlock this as we go here, but the game's forcing us to go to the ruins because this is again, the tutorial. So we're gonna have the vessel in the 3rd position. In this position, they can use Judgment, which is an attacking skill which heals the vessel, and we can use Divine Grace, which is not the party heal, but this is the targeted heal on us. She can use Illumination. Torch +5, okay. So yeah, the vessel being in the 3rd position is pretty good. We know that Dismas can function in position 2, we know that Reynald can function in position 1, and the Plague Doctor can use Noxious Blast, Plague Grenade, and Disorienting Blast in the 4th position. The only thing they can't use is Incision, and that's fine. Disorienting Blast is an interesting skill because it stuns an enemy and also clears all enemy corpses, which is nice because if we get a kill on something and they're in the way, we can just clear all enemy corpses and get them out of the way and then be able to attack the other enemies that we're fighting against. Oh, and also, our characters have quirks, positive and negative. Reynald, for instance, has a +10% damage if Torch is above 75%. God-fearing will only pray for stress relief, and Kleptomaniac is prone to stealing items. Dismas has Hard Noggin, +15% stun resistance, Quick Reflexes, +2 speed. Known Cheat is not allowed to gamble while in the town, for stress relief. Our vessel is Plutomania, -20% stress if Torch is above 75%. That's a bonus for us. This basically means that they are less stressed when the Torch is high. Clutch Hitter, +3% crit if their HP is below 50%. Hopefully that never comes into play. You don't want to be below 50% HP. And their negative quirk is they are afraid of Eldritch. They gain stress and lose accuracy versus an Eldritch creature. Our Plague Doctor, Guffat, has Second Wind, +10% damage if HP below 50%, and no stress penalty when walking backwards. That's kind of pointless. Unquiet Mind may not meditate while in town. That's not that bad because there's a lot of other things that you can do to frickin' reduce your stress. So this is our party. We have a trinket we can give our Highwayman, +10% dodge, disarm chance, +4 dodge. Let's give that to him, and we'll provision.
The cost of preparedness, measured now in gold, later in blood.
So this is new, Laudanum, a soothing tincture to inure one's mind against the horrors of the dark. I heard that there is a new sort of debuff mechanic that your party members can be afflicted by, and this is supposed to deal with that. I have no idea what it does, so for now I'm just going to completely ignore it, because this is the tutorial mission. Theoretically, it's not going to have to deal with any of the new stuff. So what we want is we want to provision ourselves. I'm going to take 10 torches. I'm going to take like 4 food, 1 shovel, 1 key, and that's it. Torches allow you to increase your light level. Food allows you to heal your party, and also you will randomly get food prompts in a dungeon, and if you get one and you don't have food, you get massively penalized for that. So you want to have enough food on hand. Shovel is used to break down obstacles, very nice to have. And the key is able to open chests. Locked chests can have more useful items in them if you use a key to open it rather than just trying to break it open. The holy water and the anti-venom we get automatically because the holy water is from Reynald, I think, and the anti-venom is from the Plague Doctor. They just give us these for free that we can use. We can't even sell them. Yeah, can't sell it. Can't sell it. So with this loadout, I think this is enough. We're just gonna go. I like having a little bit of extra food in case I need it. I've played the tutorial enough that I know that I do want 1 shovel and 1 key. I want, I think like 9 torches should be fine. And I think I can get away with only 2 food. I'm just gonna take 4 just to be safe. And we'll embark. You haven't purchased much food for this expedition. Yeah, well, pretty sure I remember how the tutorial works and there's only 1 food prompt, so I don't need 8 food. I'm pretty sure there's only 1 food prompt in the tutorial, and I'm kind of cheating there to know that, because I've played the game before, but whatever. Yeah, this looks exactly like I remembered it. So here we go. Our first foray into a real dungeon, although again, this is a tutorial dungeon. This is always the same every time. So the torch, right now we have plus dodge, plus scouting, plus monster surprise, plus dodge. Oh right, I read in the patch notes they fixed it so that dodge actually does work properly. And as the light goes down, you lose those bonuses, you get penalties. So right now we have less of a bonus to dodge, scouting, and monster surprise. Instead of a +4 bonus to dodge, it's +2.5 now. And also we get some additional stress. I'm going to raise the torch level by popping a torch, raises it by 25 per torch, and we'll go into the next room. No, skeletons! The skeletons were surprised. It is ++ to monster surprise with our torch level, and also monsters being surprised is good for us. It means that we have a better chance of killing them immediately, or killing them in one go. We basically get the first turn here. Ooh. No, excuse me. The Plague Doctor used Noxious Blast to try to poison the skeleton. These skeletons here have a 200% resistance to bleeding, but only a 10% resistance to blight, aka poison. So the fact that that failed is kind of sucky, but whatever. We could grape shot and do a sort of AoE attack between them. We could use a pistol shot. We could open vein, but we're not gonna bleed him, but we still might kill him.
Back to the pit.
Yeah, so we killed him. And Reynald here can probably get the kill because his ability Smite, if you look, plus 15% damage versus Unholy. And this guy's Unholy, so the ability will do 7 to 14 instead of, whatever it's normally supposed to do. Oh, but it only did 7. But that's okay, because Vipon, our vessel, can finish the job here with an 80% chance to get the kill. There we go. Lovely.
Destroy them.
And she gained a little bit of stress relief because of it. Unlocked strongbox. It says it's unlocked, so I don't need to use a key. The contents are yours. We get a shovel, 500 gold, and 2 deeds, which we can use for upgrading. And we have scouting. Scouting will show us what's coming up in our future. So we know that there's an obstacle, the kind of blue wall here, the blue book on the map. That just means we need to use a shovel. There's combat, an empty room, a couple of curios, which are random things that you can find in a level. Room battle with treasure, room battle with curio, and we don't know what's past these 2 rooms here. So this is the obstacle. We need to use a shovel.
The cold stone seems bent on preventing passage.
If you don't use a shovel, then you take damage, stress, and the torch goes down, and it's really something you want to avoid whenever possible. Now we have a new enemy here. Instead of just a couple of these bone rabbles, we have a bone soldier and cultist acolyte. This unit is a pain in the butt because it deals with stress. It will stress out our party members and cause them to kind of freak out, and we want to avoid that. So I'm gonna go straight for her first, and unfortunately we missed. So what do? We could debuff them, reduce their dodge chance. Oh, but she resisted it. Okay, we could stun her and shuffle her. Yes! And with that shuffle, we can potentially get a kill with Reynald. There we go. I wanted to get the kill on her because even though we surprise the enemy, they still get the turn. We just go first. So effectively, she might be able to go twice in one go, and I want to avoid that. So I wanted to make sure she was stunned and killed. And at this point, we can probably just kill this front skeleton. Can the back skeleton even do anything? The back skeleton might not even be able to do anything, which is kind of cool. So he's blighted. That skeleton died. Oh no, the skeleton's definitely going to be able to move. So the reason why there was no corpse there is because if you kill an enemy using... I'm going to use Judgment on the vessel, by the way, because it's a self-heal if it lands. So 4 damage, heals for 3. The reason why it didn't leave a corpse is because if you kill an enemy using a DOT, damage over time, then it does not leave a corpse, and that enemy died via poison, so it's just gone. Thank you, Reynald. for crests, some extra money. We'll pop a torch and walk in through the next door. But there's nothing here because we scouted it. We know that there's nothing here. Okay, we will go up, over, down, back, over, back, and then explore the last bit here. So this is where his kleptomania comes into play. He's like, I think I'll be keeping this for myself. Reward, hard earned, and all that. A boon at last. Yes, well, that sucks because that was my only key, or that was my last key, and I really wanted that key. Because keys open chests, you son of a gun. So she moved first this time and gave 19 stress to the plague doctor. What the hell, you gotta die. That's why she's gotta die fast. Yes, I will try to plague you. It did not work. 4 to 8, 2 to 5. Gotta go with 4 to 8. Yes, critted for 11, healed her, reduced stress. Lovely. Ren for the old gods, we dodged it. That is a bleeding attack if it lands. That's just a slash, nothing really to it. So here's something we could do. We could stun an enemy. Why don't we stun this guy? He's only got 25% stun resistance. Ugh. There we go. Stunning an enemy ruins his next turn and gives us an opportunity to get some damage out ourselves and reduce the damage that we're taking, of course. I could try to stun him, but as long as the blight lands, he's dead, because the blight does 4 damage for 3 rounds. He only has 4 HP. So as long as this lands, he's dead. And what we can do is focus on this guy up front, who can be bled. He's not a skeleton, he's a person.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
Yeah, you're dead. I hit him with the stunning blow because it has actually a higher chance to land, 90% versus 85, and he's dead because he only has 1 HP, but he's taking 2 damage and bleed. So I can actually just like wait a second and heal, get a crit heal and reduce stress on the healer, and now you can just finish the job.
As the fiend falls,
the blood. The blood is a special type of supply item. Any collected bottles of the blood will be retained in your estate at quest end. They may be added to the provisions of embarking parties. The blood is rare. Spread it around wisely amongst those in need. Call is unyielding. The urge is irresistible. Only the blood will quell this thirst. I get it. Part of the whole Crimson Court, where there's gonna be vampires. And theoretically, maybe if one of our party members turns into a vampire, this will allow them to stay alive just a little bit longer. Or I could just sell it for cash and just dismiss party members that get afflicted by the blood. The blood curse. Heirloom chest. I can open it or use a key. Oh, fuck it, I'll use a key. Unlocks a hidden compartment. I'm upset that we missed out on the key from the pack, the loot pack, because our Reynald here frickin' stole it. I really wanted that loot because I really needed it. I needed the key. That was my second key. Okay, that's a trap. So, dismounts. You have a 100% chance to disarm it. Might be because of this thing. Why don't we check? 90. Yeah, I'm glad I brought this because now you have a 100% chance to disarm it and it's not gonna go off. Everyone should get stress reduction from that, I think, because frickin' Plague Doctor's already at 42 stress. Already halfway to going crazy, which is not good. The light is fading. Yeah, I know the light is fading. There's no need to pop the torch right now. And as you can tell, you get different types of bonuses the darker it is. We gain more stress, monsters have better accuracy and damage. Oh, and we get better loot. But those might not be worth it. I'm glad I accidentally pressed W, which walks through the door, so I had to really quickly pop the torches to get the light level up. I don't want to deal with that right now. I just want to kill things. Crit for 11, nice. He is going to be able to shoot a crossbow bolt at the healer, but the healer taking damage is not the worst thing in the world because the healer has an ability to heal themselves. We can just use Judgment. So the Archer's dead. He only has 3 HP, he's taking 4 damage. Vessel's just gonna heal themselves with Judgment. 5 damage, 3 healing. He did the slash. He did the graveyard slash. He did the slash. We could use Zealous Accusation, which hits the first 2 enemies, but it doesn't do all that much damage. It might not kill them. The Smite ability does kill the second Bone Soldier here if it lands. 6 to 12 damage, he only has 5 HP. I want the guaranteed kill to reduce the amount of damage that I am receiving.
Slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken.
I can't target the first enemy with Disorienting Blast. I would like to because it is a stun. We're just gonna have to instead use the Blight attack, and it missed. It did not actually, well, I mean, it hit, but it didn't afflict Blight. He resisted with a 10% chance. It's the second time that's happened. It's pretty unlucky. Vessel's just gonna heal.
War can be healed,
Yeah.
but never hidden.
Just heal the Highwaymen. Let's not have any deaths on our side. This should be enough. As long as it lands, he's gonna die. Cool. Extra money, a bust, and this little pristine statue here. Holy Fountain, an ornate fountain of holy purport. Now, all these curios are in the game. We could just investigate the fountain and see what happens, or we can optionally use an item to do something with the fountain. For example, I have holy water, and this is a holy fountain. What happens if I combine the two? Divine Benefit. Healed for 12 and 20 stress reduction on our Plague Doctor. So if you can hold on to various items, you can use them on curios in order to gain random benefits. Although they're not random, they're very predetermined, and once you figure out what they are, you kind of just remember, you know?
Wealth beyond measure.
Plus 20 stun resist, minus 2 dodge, and the holy water that we just used. So we didn't actually need to bring it, but we got it for free anyways. We're just gonna finish walking down the hallway. You can walk backwards, but in general, you don't want to do that. There's a trap here, by the way, it just appeared. You can walk backwards. In general, you want to avoid that though, because it stresses out your party. Because they're walking backwards down a dark hallway and things might jump out of the darkness and kill them. So you know, we don't like it. So you want to avoid walking backwards if at all possible. All right, the objective for this mission, by the way, scouting. Explore 90% of rooms. Now that rounds down, hunger check. Oh no. We backtracked and there was a second hunger check. We're gonna actually starve. I'm an idiot. I should have followed the instructions and brought 8 food. Don't steal the items, you son of a gun. I knew there was gonna be food there. My entire strategy revolved around keeping that food. Oh my god, now we're gonna starve right here. No? Next hallway? Ugh. I hate you, Reynald. We're gonna continue adventuring because there's one hallway left here. Don't starve. I already had one starving prompt. Don't starve. Don't starve. This is why we brought the second shovel. Don't starve. Yes, we did it. They didn't starve to death. Congratulations, guys, you did it, yay!
And purpose is made clear.
All right, so this is gonna be a hard encounter here. That guy with the tempting goblet, he's another stress giver. Just gave 19 stress to our Plague Doctor. But now that there's 2 enemies in the back, we can really see this Plague Grenade ability. It hits both enemies and can do 4 damage over time for 3 rounds to each target. It's a lot of damage. Just takes a while to work. I think you are going to target this guy. He dodged. Well, we can still kill him. Let's use Judgment. 7, he's dead. The poison will kill him. That's important because I don't want to take any more stress damage. Stress is permanent until you can heal it in the Hamlet, in the main hub game, in the strategy layer. The HP will recover as soon as we're done with the mission, but the stress will remain. So we want to try to do as much stress management as we can during the fight. think we're just gonna wanna try to get a kill. It's not dead, but he'll be dead next turn. Okay, he died to poison.
Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
I could try to stun. So I'm gonna try to stun the archer. He resisted both. Lovely. He had a 10% chance to resist the stun. I've been getting very unlucky with those. Okay, he's dead, because it's 4 damage. He has 4 HP. Thank you, Dismas, for being able to actually do stuff. And also that 18 dodge on Dismas. It says 14, but it's actually 18, because it was 18? It said 18, that was weird. Okay, Vessel. Can you kill the bone soldier? Yes, you can.
Sedated.
And him hitting Reynald is meaningless. We're gonna stun him. Just so that he can't hurt us. Resisted the stun. Okay, well, now we're just gonna go all out. He's poisoned. Grape Shot Blast just does so little damage because it's a spread out ability. The dagger is still the better option even though it can't bleed him. Okay, he's dead because he's poisoned. And we can get the finishing blow with Reynald. We get more stuff, including a Grave Robber Satchel. We don't have a Grave Robber quite yet, but we will later. And now we have this heirloom chest. If we had another key, I would use it here. Maybe anti-venom works? Like if there's a trap, we can disarm the trap by neutralizing the poison. Yes, neutralizes the poison, revealing a hidden compartment. I did remember that from the, my previous playthroughs of this game. We picked up a portrait, some deeds, and crests. There we go. And now that is the last room. We are done with the level. We've explored everything there possibly can be. Let's leave. We picked up quest rewards from completing 3,000 gold, 4 crests, and a disease charm. We found holy water, which we get a refund when we bring it back, so we just get some money. A jade, some gold, a sapphire, some more gold. We collected a whole bunch of heirlooms, 4, 1, 6, and 12. And people leveled up and gained new quirks. Lovely. Reynald gets Clotter, plus 15% bleed resistance. That's a good one. Dismas gets Mercurial, minus 5% virtue chance. Virtue is when you go crazy, you have a large chance to go crazy and a small chance to actually be like a hero. Like you have your hero moment and you're like, I'm not gonna die in this place. Have at ye beasts! And he like slashes through the enemies with a holy vengeance, that's virtue. And so a minus 5% virtue chance is bad, but there's worse negative modifiers here. Vapont gets Hyromania. Experience religious visions and delusions. I think that just means that she interacts with religious curios. Like if we find a altar, she might go like, I must touch the altar. Or, ooh, what is this thing? I don't know. Ooh. Gafot, Lazy Eye, minus 5 accuracy for ranged skills. Considering I like using Plague Doctors for their ranged skills, that's a really bad one. We'll have to deal with that at some point in the future. And everyone's stress is still here, 48, 9, 2, 13. The stress on the Plague Doctor is getting up there.
In time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings.
Yeah. Severe negative quirks basically mean that, if a quirk is here for long enough, it will become severe and it's gonna take like 3 or 4 times the amount of gold to get rid of it. Because there is the sanitarium, you can use the sanitarium to get rid of negative quirks, and it's gonna be really expensive now. That's really all that means. So there's a couple of things left to do. We have the tavern,
fresh kegs, cards,
the bar, the gambling hall, the brothel.
Promise solace to the weary and broken alike.
We've got the abbey.
The cobwebs have been dusted, the pews set straight. The abbey calls to the faithful.
We got the cloister, meditation, the transept, praying, the penance hall, flagellation, and we can put our people in here and pay for them to get stress relief. So Guffaut here has 44 stress. That's getting to the point where we might want to pay to get some stress relief. We could put him in the tavern. 1,000 gold is pretty cheap for some gambling. But first, let's take a look at the stagecoach, because there are going to be new recruits. Man-at-arms.
The raw strength of youth may be spent, but his eyes hold the secrets of 100 campaigns.
Well, his eye, maybe. And the leper.
This man understands that adversity and existence are one and the same.
So there were 2 heroes here. What I should have done on the, or before the last mission, what I should have done is upgrade the stagecoach. Make it so that we get an additional hero every week, and so that we can hold more heroes. So if I just spend 3 deeds and 4 crests here, for instance, now next week, basically a week is 1 mission. Next time we do a mission, when we come back, there will be 3 heroes to select from instead of just 2. So that's how you do the incremental updates using the heirlooms. And there's nothing else for us to do except embark on the next mission, but now we actually have the ability to choose our mission. We're no longer in the tutorial. Stuff will still unlock as we go, but we can pick a mission, we can pick a length of a mission. A medium mission takes longer, it's a larger mission, but you get more rewards, and we can pick what loot we want. So that's Darkest Dungeon. That's the first proper tutorial mission done. And I will see you next time at the Clancy Estate. We're going to be continuing on with Darkest Dungeon, unlocking the new content, the new class. Want to figure out what we're doing with the new, what is it, blood mechanic? Oh, how does that work? If we provision, we can provision 1 blood, and we can bring it back if we make it back. So whatever blood is, we got 1 of it. We got 1 of it. Okay. So that's it for Darkest Dungeon. Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe for more, and I'll see you here for the next mission.